Have you ever wondered how some producers make millions selling their sample packs online?
You know, we've sold lifetime now over $15 million worth of samples.
I'm going to tell you how I've made over $500,000 selling my sample packs online.
Put it this way, getting 50K a month is very easy if you focus.
Selling samples online can be one of the best ways to go full-time as a music producer and to achieve full creative freedom to only work on projects you love, location freedom to work from wherever you want, and time freedom to work whenever you want. But let's be real, making good sounds is only one part. But turning these samples into an actual business, that's a whole different game. Most producers think if my sounds are good enough, they'll sell themselves. But the truth is that running a sample pack business means to step into the world of e-commerce. And that's a world full of challenges. How do you stand out in a crowded market where you compete with big sample companies? How do you build demand and make sure that producers feel they need your sounds? And with endless tools and platforms and strategies to choose from, how do you know where to start? Hi, I'm Chris and I run Full-Time Music Maker, a company where I help music producers to build a financially sustainable business and to pursue their passion full-time. With over a decade of experience in marketing and e-commerce, I've had the privilege to work with some of the biggest brands in the world. So for the sake of this video, I've analyzed the businesses of the most successful sample companies, read every sales email they are sending over 4 months, and I've analyzed every social media post they were uploading in that time. So by the end of this video, you will know the exact strategies companies like Sematics are using to make over 3 million per year with their sample business, how to create sample packs that make people addicted, and how to market your sample packs so you never run out of customers. But first, let me show you how to stand out in an overcrowded market. To do this, you have to understand why producers keep buying samples. Because technically, most DAC plugins, free synths, and 909 kits give you the ability to create almost everything. Yet, most producers are shopaholics and love to hold samples, gears and VSTs, and to turn basically every Black Friday into a shopping spree, including me. But because it's actually not about having more files on your hard drive, is it? Producers are often after something much deeper, like an idea for a new track that they haven't thought about, so they're looking for inspiration. Or they might feel stuck or face writer's block, so what they need is a solution to this problem. So they don't want this great lead sound, they want great tracks with great lead sounds. And they want it now. So they're looking for an easy install button basically, that solves all their problems and makes them a better producer instantly. And this is exactly why the companies that are currently dominating the sample market don't just offer like, here's 40 sounds for $40 sample packs. Instead of selling their sample packs one by one, which can be compared to other sample packs, they give you 10 for the price of 3. These companies think beyond just selling sounds. They sell a complete production suite that solves all their problems that come along with buying a sample pack. So they give you holistic solutions with not only 4,000 sounds, but also add all these crazy bonuses on top, such as demo project templates with ready-to-go mix buses and master chains, guides on using tools like sampler and pitch shifter to make sure that the samples also fit perfectly in your track, MIDI files with patterns and chords that are widely used in the genre, and exclusive tutorials, track breakdowns, and even mini courses. Let's have a look at a really cool example here from a company that I know because they said in an interview that they make at least 100,000 per month. So this is one of the bundles of Producer Grind. As you can see, they don't just offer this one sample pack. I mean, this bundle here itself has like 7 sample packs in it. And on top of that, you get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bonus packs and another bonus packs and the whole production course and $50 store credit. And the first 100 orders get a collector's USB with special and limited bonuses on it even. So you get products that are actually worth almost $700 for $297. You can even have a payment plan for 5 months. So it's really, really user-centric and make it really, many producers look at it and like, yes, that's all things I'm looking for. And as you can see, they already have sold like 300 licenses. So just this launch, when you calculate 300 licenses times like $300, made them, so just this launch made them like 100,000 alone. And they run several of these launches a year, and they also have the normal online shop. So now you know that in order to stick out in a saturated market, you need to give something so unique and valuable that you can't be compared. But all this knowledge and techniques are completely worthless if you don't know how to come up with winning samples ideas for yourself. So let me show you how these big companies constantly come up with new fresh ideas, so you can also get new ideas for your sound kits and to create something producers really need. Because coming up with fresh ideas in a saturated market can be very difficult, and the decision on which sounds to create can feel very overwhelming. Yet, many producers think sample packs sounds like a great idea to get some quick cash and to make some passive income. And then they create something that they wouldn't even use in their own projects. Of course, then the samples won't sell. To make sure that you only create products that the market really needs, I'll give you 3 methods to find ideas for your unique sample packs. Starting with the first one that looks like this. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just look at what sample packs are already selling like crazy to get a feeling where the demand is? Well, you can. With the Chrome extension from Koala Inspector, you can see what are the best-selling products on every shop that uses Shopify. Let's look at this example from TechHouse Market. When you click on all the products, you can actually see which packs are the best-selling. But what if a shop doesn't use Shopify, or you just want to get a second input to prove the data? In that case, you can use the Meta Ads library. By the way, in the description, you'll find a link to a free checklist with every step I take in this video and with more tools on how to use them. So let's go back to the manager. What are you looking for is the ads that run the longest. Because when they're running for a long time, it means usually that they're highly profitable for the company. Because why else would they run these ads for such a long time, right? In this case, it proves the data that we got from Koala, that there is a good demand for Latin tech house samples. But what if you're not friends with a local mariachi band, or you just don't like creating a Latin pack because it's not your sound? That brings us to the second method to find unique sample ideas. Take a look around your studio. What gear do you have in your ensemble that others don't? For instance, this is Liam Kieran. He exclusively creates his sample packs with his analog gear and modular synthesizers. It's fair to say that most producers don't have this stuff themselves, and using his samples gives them the opportunity to have a unique analog sound in their own tracks. But what if you don't have fancy gear? That brings us to method number 3. Think of what sort of big sounds and themes big names in the industry use at the moment. Let's look at Drumcode, for example. It is the most popular techno label out there, and they have a bunch of different artists that all have a bit of their own sound. It's fair to say that there's a good amount of techno producers who wouldn't mind having a drag and drop solution to sound like their favorite Drumcode artists. Remember, but they don't only want their lead sound, they want to make tracks like them, effortlessly. So I'm talking about a big pack where you build all their signature lead and bass sounds, but also loads of example projects with MIDIs they're using and mix buses to process their sound. And all of a sudden you have an idea that like the majority of techno producers or the people who get into techno production would really like to have. So now you learn 3 different methods how to come up with great ideas. But an idea is useless when you don't know how to take action. What you need to do now is to make a clear plan. It's critical not to only have a great claim and a good idea, but that your samples live up to the promise. This is why I give you a 3-step plan that all the big sample companies use to create their bundles. So you can just copy it. For the sake of this video, let's say we decide to create this big Drumcode bundle that I was teasing before. Since we sparked that vision in ourselves already, let's see how we can make it to come alive. So let's get into step number 1, the planning. So a big Drumcode bundle could look like this. We include the 10 packs and add 3 bonuses. And we make sure that it's highly user-focused. So we deliver pre-mixed drums that cut right through the mix. Everything that comes in a synth like Serum presets, we're also going to deliver each sound as a loop sample. And as bonus 1, we give a bunch of MIDI files of different synths, drums, bass patterns, you name it. Everything basically that can be programmed as a MIDI, we also give them so they can just drag and drop it in their project. Because how often did I buy presets and samples and then I had no clue really how to use them? Like I had really nice plugs or lead sounds, but I didn't know back then how to write a melody. So you, in this case, you make sure that the users have a very good experience. As a second bonus, we could include a whole course on how to make techno drum code start to finish. You need, or you should, create a demo track anyway, where you use the sounds that you bundle so the customer can see them in action anyway. So to make things easy, you just record the process of creating the demo track and then you explain it along the way. And as a third bonus, here you add the project files of the tracks you created in that course. This adds no extra work, but an intense value to the user because they get a template to work with already. Now we know what we want to create, but how will it sound and look? To manifest a better overall vision for your project, it can be really helpful to create a vision board with artworks and elements that are typical for that genre or for the project you're going for. So as we can see, Drumcore, they use a lot of psychedelic artwork, and you can see like a lot of underground warehouse kind of vibe. That'll be important for the creation of the visuals later, but it can also help you a lot to create the sounds when you have some sort of visual anchor. Once you have this in place, you can go deeply analyze the sounds and music you want to create. In this case, a good starting point would be to look in the most popular releases of Drumcore for the last year. What are listeners' favorites on Spotify? Or which artists got a lot of hype? Once you're done with your analysis, make a list with everything you need to learn and replicate to make this sound. And also of all the gear and software you need to create the sounds. So now we know what assets we want to create, the visual identity of the project, the sound we want to emulate, and what we need to make it work. Time to actually create the samples. But how do you start? Here are 3 things to consider when creating a sample pack. First, to save you time with the export and to keep a good overview over your work, it makes sense to create all sounds in one project and to organize them by leads, drums, low end, etc. Just like you do for your production projects as well. And number 2, the demo track. To give the context to your sound and to help your audience to see the big picture. Sometimes you have a great sound that sounds great by itself, but it doesn't really work when you place it into a project. So in the demo track, you can show the audience how this sample behaves in a full piece of music. 3, optimized workflow. A way to make your customers happy is when you make it easy for them to find the right sound. Here's where you can maximize the user experience by improving the workflow. Play around a bit and see what naming and organizing structure gives you a headache and which ones help you to find the right sounds faster. No one likes packs that are annoying to use. For instance, you could have all sounds sorted by instrument. Let's say you have one folder, Yamaha DX7 or Mini Moog. And within this folder, you include all the lead sounds, the bass sounds, the effects, the strings from this synthesizer. But you also have a folder where you have just all the lead sounds from all the synths combined or from other instruments, so that the producer, when they would look just for a lead sound, they can just keep clicking. So now you should have a great pack that is incredibly useful. So the next step is to communicate your vision. Here's where we use the visual inspiration that helped us to create the pack, to help your audience to really feel the vibe of that sound. And to help you with that, I'll give you 3 ways for 3 different budget levels to create great artwork for your sample pack. First, DIY. When you're just starting out, you might not have the budget to hire a designer. But that's not a problem because there are very easy ways to come up with something on your own, and you also need no big talent as a graphic designer for it. There are platforms like Pexels or Unsplash where you can download free stock photos and videos that you can use for your artwork. Based on our research, we know that we're looking for psychedelic underground rave vibe, right? So I typed in warehouse rave and I already really like the first one here. As you can see here, there are also a bunch of other ones that look really, really good. And once you download the image, you head over to Canva. Canva is an online graphic design tool that has a great free plan that you can use. I just dragged the image in and added the text on top. If you were wondering how I chose this font, I just googled what font Drumcode is using, and since this is a paid one, I looked for a free alternative. For the label name, I added some trippy effect, and for the description, I made it hollow to make it look a bit more interesting. And that's it. Now we have an artwork that doesn't look too bad and only took a few minutes and was completely free. For the promo video, we can do basically the same, This time I went to Pixabay and typed in rave, and they actually have something really amazing here also. Then you choose the aspect ratio of a reel, download it, and then you go back to Canva. Create a new project, copy the text from earlier, and now you have something that's pretty good, right? So the second way for the ones with a little bit of a budget is a freelancing platform like Upwork or Fiverr. On Fiverr, you just type in artwork, music, and you find a lot of great options for cheap dollar. Here's someone who goes in our direction, I would say, as a brief. And if you want to work with them as a briefing, you can just submit the visual inspiration we used before, right? The document with the warehouse raves and the psychedelic artwork and shit. And number 3 is to build a personal relationship with an artist. So once you have the cash flow, I would recommend you to find a visual artist who really understands your vision and go off any freelance platform and work on a contractor base. Instagram or your personal network is probably the best way to find an artist who gives you a cohesive design like these sampled companies have here. You can see they have like designers they work on a constant base with. They know already their vision and have always a go-to designer. So now we know how to create a killer sample pack that producers really need, and you also have a great artwork that communicates the vibe of your sound. But where do you sell your packs, and how do you get people to buy them? Do we start with a website or by running ads? It's neither actually. Facebook or Instagram ads are nothing you need to worry about for a while. Over the past years, the competition has become quite fierce in the ad space. And with more and more people running ads, the price for a new customer has become so high that it's only viable for companies who already have bigger budgets and get a higher lifetime value out of a new customer. Instead, we're going to focus on a strategy that costs $0 and builds your brand sustainably. When we take a look what all the big sample companies have in common, it's that they use an approach that I call the GHS framework. Let's have a look what this means. The G is for grow, and it means that first we need to grow an email list. For those who don't know it, email is by far the most important tool to sell digital products online. Unlike on social media, where algorithms limit your reach, an email list gives you direct access to your audience. You have no risk of losing followers due to platform or algorithm changes, and you can always present an offer like deals, courses, samples, whatever, without relying on ads to reach your audience. It's actually proven that email is 40 times more effective than social media for customer acquisition. And when you write a great headline with your email, you can get up to 50% open rates. Like for instance, on YouTube or Instagram, it's impossible to have such a big click rate. So bottom line, you can say social media is to grow your brand and email is for selling. And in case you're wondering how to bribe people into signing up for your email, this is where we use the sample pack, the drum code sample pack that we just created. So the 300 sounds that we built before. Instead of selling it, we're just giving it away for free. We're using it as a so-called lead magnet, where you give a highly valuable product in exchange for an email address. Here are the top 3 strategies for sample companies to get people on your email list. The first powerful method is the guerrilla way, or guerrilla, I don't know. You look for big sample companies and check their posts, and then you DM'd everyone who liked one of their posts. It's really cool to get access to a highly relevant audience because they already showed with their like that they're interested in samples, right? And also, everyone likes free samples, right? So you DM them and you just say something like, "Hi, how's it going? I just released a free production suite full of high quality drum code sounds in it," or whatever genre you did, "and here's the download link. Have fun with it. Cheers, Chris." Just something very casual. Just make sure to maybe like 1 or 2 posts of them before you DM them, and not to DM more than like 20, 30 people, especially in the beginning. Like after a week, you can maybe go up to 50, just for Instagram that it doesn't flag you as spam. So let's look into the next way to get email addresses. On Instagram, you should post tutorials where you cook up a beat or track, and there you mainly use sounds from your free pack. So here's like, you make like a Instagram post how you cook up this like techno track, and the only thing you use is the samples from the drum code sample. And in every video, you tell people to comment with a certain word, like a fire emoji or drum code or techno or something, to get the sound that you're using for free. For instance, like if you want these sounds, or if you want that template, comment techno. And there's a tool that's called ManyChat. So when you set it up, it automatically sends them a download link to your free samples. In the beginning, you can also just DM them personally. Maybe that's even easier to establish a personal relationship with your audience. But ManyChat is also super cool because it connects right with your email management platform. And while Instagram is a really great platform to make guerrilla marketing, there's another platform that is way more powerful to build a long-lasting sample brand. On YouTube, you can give much more value to the viewer because you can give them long, in-depth tutorials. Like these guys from producer school here are doing. They actually made a tutorial on how to make techno like drum code. And they also have dozens of other videos where they make tutorials that are basically better than other people's courses. Like their tutorials are really, really good. But in these tutorials, they're only using their own samples, so that people who are watching the tutorials and want to replicate their sound have to buy their products. Another great example is Kavi. He went from 0 to 90,000 subscribers, I think in only like 2 or 3 years. And he now makes millions with his samples because he also uses his YouTube to promote his free stuff in exchange for an email. You can and here you can also drop the link to your free download and the sign up form in the description or in the comments of your video. So to sum things up, in the growing phase of your sample business, you should focus on 3 things. Collecting as much email addresses as you can. For instance, Sematics waited until they had 10,000 subscribers before they launched a paid product. But then they scaled from 0 to 200,000 within a few months. 2, create a strong social media presence with loads of free tutorials. Here you can create a lot of goodwill with your audience that they'd like to give you their money later. And 3, get your sound into producers' computers. When other producers use your stuff in their tracks, it gives you a lot of proof and credibility that you can use in your marketing because it shows that your stuff is actually useful. But before I break down the secret launch formula that successful companies use, we need to set up a landing page. That is where everything happens, where producers buy your products and where all your marketing efforts lead to. Without it, your campaign has nowhere to convert traffic into sales. So here are the 5 key elements of a high converting landing page. First, start with a strong headline. Your headline is where you hook people. 80% of visitors will read it, but only 20% will read the rest. Make it short, punchy, and above all, clear. Let me show you some examples from Kavi and Sematics who are really doing a good job with their pages. Add a timeless sound to your production. When we look at this, it's not just a plain description on what it is, vintage soul sample pack, but it focuses on the benefit you get when you buy his bundle. Or let's look at this example from Sematics. Create unlimited memorable melodies with 1,300 plus sounds sourced from iconic analog synths, 91% off. He also focuses on the benefit you get out of this pack, rather than just describing what it is. Number 2 is a good demo song. Show how your sounds behave in the context of a full track. It can be much more inspiring to listen to the sound in a full loop than just by itself.
Or maybe you just think on that. Don't be always looking for the answers that will tell you more.
Number 3 is a strong video or video sales letter. Show in action how you actually use the sounds to cook up a real project and to inspire your viewers. This is the perfect medium to build a personal bond and to really keep your viewers' attention. You can show clips how you use the sounds to create the demo track and tell the story behind that sounds. For instance, when you used analog gear, show how you recorded it and create a nice story for your audience.
What's up, guys? I'm Steven, the CEO of Cymatics.fm, and all the sounds you just heard are not from any VST plugin. It's actually from a private analog one-shot collection that we've created over the years to make music for artists like Drake, Bad Bunny, Lil Uzi Vert, Meg Thee Stallion, and a lot of other people in the industry. For those of you guys who don't know us, we've actually been creating samples and presets for the music industry for the past 9 years. And Cymatics has reached millions of producers, not to mention our melodies have been used across the industry. And one of the things that we've always used as a secret weapon is actually this specific collection. There's something special about these analog one-shots that have been processed through things like vintage tape machines as well as hardware gear that just gives them a certain feel that right out of the box you don't have to do any sound design and you can get some really creative stuff off the rip. Instead of just talking about it, I actually want to show you. So in this collection we have over 1,300 one-shots and a couple other bonus goodies in here that you're going to be able to use to really make some creative melodies. So let's dive right into it.
Number 4 is the features and benefits. This is where you set yourself apart. Show them exactly what to expect and why this pack is such a good choice. What's unique about it? Why are they most likely to succeed with their creative goals when they buy your sounds? Make sure that you include plenty of sound samples here as well. If you look here at Cymatics again, he says each loop is processed with analog gear, ensuring the stand out in your mix. Number 5 is a single clear call to action. Instead of simply saying buy now, shop now, or check availability, use a call to value above it that emphasizes again what they get out of it, like get the analog sound, for instance. When you check all the boxes of this checklist, you are already better prepared than 90% of other sample companies out there. But your landing page is only as powerful as the traffic you send to it. Even the best page won't generate sales if no one sees it. That's where social media comes in. But just posting, hey, my pack's out now, won't really work. Most producers ignore promotional posts, but they do engage with content that educates, gives away free stuff, or tells a story. So here's a 4-step formula on how to launch your sample bundle. Step 1 is to create a storyline before the launch. Every successful launch has a backstory that makes people feel connected before the project even drops. And to do that, you have to relate to their struggles. Look at Cymatics. He said, when I started producing, my tracks felt kind of generic, but using analog gear made my music feel more alive. Or Kavi, he said, I used soul samples in my tracks, but then he got a copyright flag. So let's see how they solve it. And what they're doing now is to position their sample pack as a solution to these problems. For instance, Cymatics said he built this pack to give you the analog sounds. So you can have these quality sounds that have all a story within them without that you have spent thousands on gear like he had to. Or Kavi said, because he got copyrighted, he created this massive vintage soul bundle with own recorded sounds and choirs and instruments that you can buy. So you get these sounds, like very authentic sounds from old soul samples, but you don't have to worry about copyright issues. And then step number 2 is to build traffic by using social media and email. The goal here is not just to post about your product, it's to get producers onto your email list and onto your landing page. And here's the content that actually works for this. High value tutorials. Show how you use the sounds in a track. Around his launch, Kavi released a bunch of high quality tutorials on YouTube that are all evolved around this vintage soul sample pack. Free downloads, as we discussed earlier. Give away this better sample pack to pull people into your email list. Look at Cymatics here, for instance. When they launched their bundle with 3,000 sounds, they give you 300 of them, and that's what many people charge for. And many people charge $40 for 300 sounds, but they give it away for free to give you a taste for it. And the other post that works is the storytelling. Share the storyline you came up with in step number 1. How this pack solves real problem in the production of a producer. So what you learned just now is that these successful producers never just announce a new product, they build momentum around it. Now let's have a look how to convert this traffic into sales. And we're doing this, as we teased earlier, with email. And an email sales campaign can be structured in 3 phases. Phase 1, we build anticipation. Producers don't know that they need your sounds yet. Right now they are unaware of what they are missing. If they keep using the same sounds as everyone else, they might feel stuck and their music won't stand out. But they're not actively looking for a new sample pack. They need a reason to care. And this phase builds curiosity before the offer even drops. It starts with a teaser to spark interest, followed by education on why these sounds matter. Now to phase number 2. Now they should be interested, but they don't see why this pack is different. If they think this is just another sample pack, they probably ignore it. They need proof that this solves a real problem and it's worth their time. So the first email in this phase needs to show what makes it unique. For instance, include a demo where you can show their sound in action. In this phase, you show them how a future could look like when they use your samples. Show other producers who create a great sound, great music with your sample packs. And also value stack. Add bonuses and social proof, testimonials. Make it clear that this isn't just another pack, but it is an essential tool that they need in their production. And phase number 3 is to create urgency and close the deal. Now they should be convinced, but still a bit hesitant if they should buy or not, or wait. They see the value, but they still hesitate, wondering if it's worth it. Maybe they're thinking, do I really need these sounds? Maybe I have similar sounds. And here a reminder email should enforce them why they need a spec. Value stack again, like you get these 10 packs for the price of 3, add the surprises, add the bonuses in these emails. And now we should have a great story for launch. Now we know how to use social media to build tension, and now we know how to write a persuading email campaign. But what I'm about to share is the secret method that all successful sample companies use. It's FOMO, the fear of missing out, or also called scarcity. People are far more driven to take action when they have a fear of missing out than when they just see an opportunity to gain something. And you can create this urgency by limiting either the number of the units available or the bonuses that come with it. Because it's far better to constantly sell out than to sell not enough and to lose the scarcity effect. Here's an example of how Cymatics is using scarcity. By limiting the total amount of sample packs he's selling to 1,000, and only the first 500 orders get a free USB stick with extra samples and exclusive stuff on them. So now we covered how to create high quality samples, how to grow your brand, and how to build hype around your launch. So let's move into the next phase, where we turn the momentum that you have now into a sample enterprise that is built to last. So the first thing you should do now is to build an actual online shop. The mechanics to get producers to visit your shop are a bit different than from the landing page. But instead of relying on just one big launch and your shop, you can continuously tap into your audience fear of missing out. But this time the focus isn't on scarcity, where we limit the total amount of units that we're selling. This time the focus is on urgency, where we limit the time and where the offer is available. But when you have a dramatic timer running, for instance, and freak people out that their VIP once-in-a-lifetime discount is about to expire, and then the next day you basically just start the timer all over again, it might really piss off your customers. But it's different when there's real urgency, by giving each promotion a genuine reason to exist. For instance, seasonal or themed campaigns keep the urgency fresh without feeling forced. For example, our New Year promotion ends January 30. Our Valentine's Lovers promo ends February 30. And then the next month, our Spring special ends March 31. And then April Fool's promo ends April 30. Deadlines drive decisions. And when done right, they can push customers to act before they're missing out. But there's one more secret technique that successful online shops are using, and it looks like this. When your customer buys something and heads to the checkout, you lead him to another page that offers them another product, for instance, one of your bestsellers for a discounted price. This is called an order bump, or what people might like to call an upsell. On average, these order bumps or upsells can boost your revenue by up to 20%. So to sum this chapter up, have a shop, run genuine campaigns, and include upsells at your checkout. And also here, as you can see, Cymatics is a great poster child of these techniques. In their shop, you see a big selection of previous bundles they released, and at the time of this video, they're actually running the Valentine's discount. And when you click buy on one of these packs, they suggest you the analog pack. So Cymatics and Kavi are proof that it's possible to build a multiple six-figure business as a producer by selling samples. All you need is passion for good sounds and the discipline to build your business. But also you need to make sure that you make the right decisions for your business. That's why I started Full-Time Music Maker. It's a consulting business for music producers that helps you to combine your skills and your unique story to build a financially sustainable business. So if you're curious to make music production your full-time career, head to the link in the description and book a call with us, and let's see if we can help you. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and hopefully see you in the next one.